great welcome for the Bradford Bulls here at Odsal. Fantastic atmosphere. They know how to put on a show at the Odsal Stadium. Spectacular arrival of the two teams on the field. Odsal buzzing, and Robbie Paul had such a wonderful first 30 minutes on Sunday, then fell from grace, and Steve-O, Robbie and indeed his brother Henry, the key to defeat for Graham Murray and the Leeds Rhinos.
Certainly they played out of their skin in that semi-final in the first 30 and then got sucked into a hard forward battle, and the man in your screen, Matthew Elliott, I'm sure would have drummed it into his players that we must keep this ball alive. And I think it's going to be the night where the two Pauls really ignite together. Henry Paul perhaps a little bit subdued. Robbie Paul, as Eddie mentioned in the opening 20 minutes, was quite outstanding.
Match referee tonight is Steve Presley, refereeing very well this season according to his boss Greg McCallum. Blows the whistle, and Iestyn Harris gets this battle royal underway. High hanging kickoff, and it bounces kindly for the Bradford Bulls, and they have the possession from the kickoff, though Leeds did their best.
Nice tactic as well. The very high kick. Of course, that comes about by these new tees that they put the ball up. What a great hit up.
Paul Anderson driving the ball in for the Bradford Bulls. They're looking eager, indeed both these sides are. Just a question really of which team has recovered best from the first meeting 5 days ago. Lowe's will scamper away from dummy half. Over the top it goes from Robbie Paul. Bounces and is picked up by Danny Peacock. Peacock with a bit of time, cuts in field, straightens it up. It's not Peacock, it's Scott Naylor, my pardon. This now is Lowe's, scampering forward, great ground from the lead, from the Bradford hooker. Back it goes to Brian McDermott. Leeds desperate in defence, they're keeping the ball alive, but there's a little knock on. Lowe's claiming there was no knock on.
Offload by the big prop forward. Well, he said that it caught him on the half volley, claiming that it hit his, just a little one. The eagle eye of Steve Presley, the referee, certainly picked that one up.
Well, now the smoke of the fireworks has cleared, and this vast crowd at Odsal can see the action in point clarity. This is Marcus St. Hilaire.
Well, we expected the Bulls to throw everything at Leeds in the opening minutes, and they've done just that. Now then, let's see if their defence is equal to it.
Paul Sterling, one or two of these players with points to prove maybe to their coach Graham Murray. They'll be looking for big games tonight to push themselves into contention for things to come in the future.
Well, he's made it quite clear, as Graham Murray on a radio interview today, he was saying that there's quite a lot of positions up for the grab there to go to Wembley. It's not cut and dried yet, he says.
Newton gets the ball away to Harris, and Harris dabs the ball over the top. That will stay in the in-goal area, will it? No, it rolls over the dead ball line.
Disappointment not only for the captain, Iestyn Harris, but for the coach, Graham Murray. Far too strong. Remember, of course, that at the Odsal Stadium, the pitch, because of the speedway track, all the in-goal areas in the corner rises up around about 4 feet. Ideal for the kick.
This is McNamara, and he disappears under the challenge of the defenders. Peacock now, he breaks the first cover, gets the ball away to Zisti. He's got St. Hilaire to beat. St. Hilaire stands his ground and does well. That's good defence from the young Leeds fullback.
Great work from Peacock, sent the winger away. But look at that cover defence from Leeds. They're back in one straight line already.
This is Robbie Paul. Tried to put boot to ball, was tackled by Glanville. And Glanville got a hand to it by the looks of things. 6 more tackles here for the Bradford Bulls. He will drive it in now, Jowett. Bradford looking for points early here. On the charge with Paul. Out wide it goes to Vicona. Great strength from Vicona. Flicks the ball back in field. There was an indication there that maybe he was on the line, but the touch judge said he got the ball back before his foot touched the whitewash. This is McDermott now. James Lowe's. Out wide it goes to Vicona again. Great defence from Leeds. Knock on though. against Godden.
Godden got fingertips to that, and it's a good job that he did. That was a try saver. Well, a second of time there to Vita Vicona, showing his strength. And Sterling stood his ground. It had to be as well. Sterling just went low. He's a hard man to stop, and you'll see when he gets the ball again. That was the first chance that he got it away. And on the second occasion, Godden knocked on.
Big chance here, though, for the Bulls. This is Anderson, who will drive it in. Interestingly enough, Anderson didn't pack down.
Amazing move, that.
This is Forshaw, gets the first try. Forshaw with the try for the Bradford Bulls. Just the start that Bradford wanted. Mike Forshaw, a former Leeds man, of course. He left Headingley in 1996, and he gets the first try of this battle here at Odsal.
Superb play. We talk about the dummy runner. Peacock made the break out wide. Look at the winger go, Zisti. This is how it all started. They really have launched themselves here. And from this position, watch the dummy runner. Beautiful play there. They thought Lowe's was going to get it, and Forshaw crashes in. The crowd have gone absolutely balmy here. Watch the dummy runner. They thought it was the hooker Lowe's going to get it. You can see he just squeezed the defence. Sensational opening for the Bulls. It's a planned move, and it's worked.
So McNamara now just to the left of the uprights with the first conversion attempt of the night, and McNamara adds the extra 2 points. He's played and scored in all 6 in Super League against Leeds so far. Make that 7 now for Steve McNamara.
And a try converted for the Bulls.
What a start, Mike Forshaw. Once of Wigan, once of Wakefield, once of Leeds, now very much of the Bradford Bulls. So just the start that Matthew Elliott would have wanted. Their sights set on Old Trafford. They've been there just once, the 1990 Premiership final. They lost to Widnes on that occasion. Going for the short kick-off again. Zisti is underneath it, though, for the Bulls. Vicona, it's going to be a physical battle, this. There's no doubt about that. Here's Anderson. Over the halfway line he goes. Great roar from the terraces. Plays the ball, and Vicona, anxious for work. He's moved in off the line. It's going to be physical, this.
See Newton trying to get Vicona on his back. Leeds trying desperately to slow this, play the ball down. They're being run ragged at the moment.
What a huge kick that is, and what a great take from St. Hilaire, and he was tackled in the air as well. McNamara, the culprit.
Well spotted there by the referee. New rule that's been brought in for this season, and a fine ruling too. But what a start by Bradford. Well, it's exactly the same that we saw in that semi-final. The fans here, obviously the Bradford ones, don't want the same result.
And Leeds certainly can't afford a second defeat on the bounce in Super League. They're at home to London on Monday. Difficult Easter programme for all the stars of Super League.
Interesting to see. Oh, Harris nearly dropped that then. Lucky to get to it. Be interesting to see how Yasin Harris plays, starting right away from the standoff position, not at full-back, because Powell out injured.
Barry McDermott gets the ball away, and Harris, it was round his ankles, he couldn't pick it up.
Wasn't the best pass. Well, that really is panic. You can see Forshaw had gone low. McDermott made a real meal of it. And none too pleased, none too impressed either from the skipper Harris.
Well, you might well remember that performance from Yasin Harris here last year. That's a big blunder by Naylor, and Leeds have got it back.
The gap was there. It was good work on the blind side. Again, they caught the Leeds defence napping. Naylor really should have gone through a huge hole there. Godden was off balance.
Barry McDermott slips, and that gives the Bradford defence enough time to move in for the kill. Newton is the dummy half, and he flicks it down the short side to Sheridan. Sheridan then on to Godden. Godden is round the ankles by Paul and over the top by Vicona, but Leeds roll forward again. This is Glanville. Anderson and McDermott in quickly for the kill. Newton, dummy half, gives it to Harris, and Harris just held the pass up. The Bradford defence came out in the umbrella style.
Good work, they forced Harris down the centre.
Here's Sheridan. High kick to the corner, looking for Paul Sterling. Vicona is there though for the Bulls, and Godden wrestles him to the ground.
Big night for Sterling, trying to stop this man Vicona, but it was a good take by the big winger. Bradford eager to keep this ball alive, and that's what's catching the Leeds defence out.
Well, they have beaten Sheffield 18-6 and Hull 8-3 away. They're aiming to repeat their rip-roaring start of '97. 20 straight wins on their way to the title that year. But nerves playing a little part. 9.5 minutes gone here.
Not the best pass from the hooker, James Lowes, but really, the loose forward McNamara perhaps should have taken that. It did kick up violently just at the last moment. But it's mistakes like that that can just change this game around.
Well, let's go down to pitch side. Here's Bill.
Well, this was always going to be a big ask for the Leeds Rhinos to back up after their fantastic performance at the weekend, but to do it without these characters, there they are, Darryl Powell, Darren Fleary and Andy Hay, all out injured. Well, that makes the Leeds task even bigger, and especially the defensive power of Darren Fleary. He's out with 1 or 2 bumps and bruises. Andy Hay, a broken thumb and a couple of broken bones as well. Darryl Powell injured too. Could be a few weeks before they're back.
It's a rough, tough life being a Super League star, no doubt about that. Here now is Harris teasing them, giving it to Morley. Morley, he escaped one, but he couldn't get away from Spruce, and McDermott was in as well. Heavyweight reinforcements. Leeds just 3 metres short of the line. Here's Sheridan. Brilliant! Brilliant from Sheridan, and the Leeds little scrum half almost squirmed over the line, but somehow from somewhere Bradford kept him out. This is Harris. Long ball looking for the winger, Rivette. It bounced off the knee of Zisti, and this is a call for the referee.
Well, Zisti made no play at it. The ball played the man. Lovely ball out wide there. Perhaps it would have been better served to give it to Godden. He looked as though there was a half chance there, but Zisti couldn't do anything about it.
Robbie Paul will feed the scrum and gives it immediately to his brother Henry. Henry Paul, of course, in the Wigan side that won the grand final against Leeds at Old Trafford last year. Here he is now trying to get the Bradford Bulls a step on the road closer to the grand final in October. McDermott now picked up and dumped. Lowes, quick play the ball. McNamara to Forshaw.
They're using the big second row of Forshaw out wide. See Leeds quite eager to make sure that the Bradford ball carriers are put on their back. They have slowed the play of the ball down somewhat.
That's a big deep kick from Robbie Paul, but it bounced in the in-goal area, and it bounced touching goal. So that will come back for a 20-metre tap for the Leeds Rhinos.
Well, I think the expression on his face says it all. He realised it was a little bit too long. But a bit of a dangerous occupation to be allowing that ball to bounce.
Leeds lost to Wigan in Super League last time out. They are desperate not to lose another 2 points. Without the title, of course, since 1972, and never really in the sniff for it in the Super League era until last year at the grand final.
Well, that's another mistake. Martin Marcella trying to keep that ball alive. And Leeds, uncharacteristically, dropping the ball far too often.
So Bradford have it back. The ball was flicked by Anderson. It hit the Leeds arm and is picked up by Anthony Farrell.
And it went backwards. Good call by the referee, Presley.
This is St. Hilaire, a real thorn in Bradford's side lately. Good tackling there by Mike Forshaw. Quick play the ball from Leeds now. This is Rivette, and tackled there by Robbie Paul. Just for a moment, Newton lost his way, flicks the ball away in the tackle, bounces in front of Golden, he delayed, and Peacock was there and herring out from the defensive line, finished off by McDermott. Farrell to Harris, giving it a bit of width, Barry McDermott. Back it goes to Yestin Harris again. Flat run, here's Golden. He's got support outside him. Golden just ankle tapped, and a good job he was too by Forshaw, and Golden's hurt.
And it was a legal tackle. Peacock came to him. A lot of the Leeds fans think that It was an illegal tackle, but you can see that Forshaw had not stopped him. So that's okay. Peacock came in with his shoulder, and Marvin Golden felt that one.
Referee wants Golden to receive treatment, but he also wants the ball releasing so that the play the ball can happen while he gets the running repairs. It's done that now. Rivette to Farrell. Farrell then to Harris, who drills it through Vicona. It's a difficult ball for him to take, but he makes 10 good metres.
Good play by Paul Sterling there. Even though he didn't stop him, there's got to be interference. You must move away from the play the ball area. Sheridan failed to do that.
Trying to get out of the way, held his arms up, but the ball hit his legs.
I'm not so sure he tried.
But he had his hands up anyway.
Well, he won't kid the referee.
Okay.
Bradford 5th in Super League last year. Knocked out in the first round of the playoffs at St Helens. They have got more quality, they believe, this year here, and they're desperate to go at least 2 more stages further on the road to Old Trafford in 1999.
Good tackle there by Marcella.
Yeah, good.
What's a big important factor about this game, Eddie, is the fact that so close to that semi-final, fitness is going to play its part. There's got to be players out there that's playing with slight injuries.
Robbie Paul isn't one of them. Another great run from Paul. The ball carrying arm hit the deck, so he gets up, plays it to Lowe's. Good ball back on the inside then to McDermott, and Leeds on the back foot. That's the last tackle though, and the ball comes free. McDermott lost it.
It was a big hit. I don't think McDermott knows what's happening. You could see there, it was a big hit from Martin Marcella. He gave him a little short arm. Watch it come. Bang. It was not seen by the officials. The reason why that ball came clear is the big prop forward, Brian McDermott, is out. He's a tough cookie, but that was a neat, sharp one from Marcella, not seen by the referee.
15.5 minutes gone. Leeds with the possession from the scrum, and here is Harris again, a marked man in Super League after his deeds of daring do last year. Glanville, whoa, Anderson coming in. McNamara turned him over, and that's a penalty.
Well, all that effort just wasted by messing around after this. Here comes a big fella. Oh, that hurts. Ooh, that's a 6-5 special, that one.
Then a little bit of messing around at the play the ball. The pressure is off, and Leeds have the possession. And Barry McDermott just ran through the attempted challenge of Anderson, flipped the ball to Newton. He in turn finds Sheridan, having a great season, Ryan Sheridan. It was predicted by Graham Murray for the little scrum half this year. Terry Newton still keeping Lee Jackson out of the side, of course. Here's Marcella, a man on a mission with a point to prove, maybe, to his coach. Watching on eagerly from the sideline. Newton again. Now it's with Morley, that leg heavily strapped, dead leg against St Helens earlier in the season. Here's Harris, wide ball, over the top though of the head of Paul Sterling, and Iestyn Harris furious with himself.
Well, things not going right, but look at the clatter that the winger gets from Vicona. Sterling got a fingertip to it, and just as he was hitting the ground with his feet, Vicona, whack. 2 errors from Iestyn Harris would not please him and the coach Graham Murray.
A lot more involved though, isn't he, Steve-O, as Neil Harmon comes on for the Bradford Bulls. Harmon is, of course, a man who is another former Leeds player, and he has replaced Paul Anderson. So that's a straight swap, prop forward for prop forward. Big hit by Golden. Quick play the ball again. Robbie Paul. Out wide it goes to Sisti. Forward. Steve Presley pulls them back for a forward pass.
They're not having the luck of the green, are they? I mean, really, that looked okay to me. How a cameraman on the side there.
What about that?
Well, they talk about the momentum rule. Robbie Paul was going forward. I think that's all right. Classified with the momentum rule.
Well, certainly Robbie Paul finished up in front of the football, so that's the momentum rule.
That's it.
Even though he was halted by the Leeds tackler.
See better from the high shot. I think that's okay. Catches it behind him, he had to reach through for it. Well, they were very fortunate there, and remember, of course, Vicona had a vital try disallowed in that semi-final when Bradford were leading Leeds 12-0. 10-0, should I say. which could have turned it into 16, and I don't think Leeds would have come back from that.
Have we seen a significant turning point in this match, just as we did 5 days ago? We shall see. Driving up the middle, but offside against the Bulls.
Well, he was told, the referee was shouting, "Jimmy Lowes, you are offside." And as soon as he made contact, the referee has no option but to give. You can see there, Lowes made no attempt to come back the required 10 metres. And the referee was yelling and screaming at Lowes. It's no good him doing the same.
Jimmy, I've told you were out of it to get back to me.
And now he's getting a warning, a caution on the run. Well, this is the sort of thing that happened to Bradford on Sunday when they had control of the game. They seemed to lose their cool and got dragged into a forward battle. And as the game progressed, Leeds got stronger and Bradford got worse.
So Iestyn Harris with the opportunity to add 2 points to the Leeds total, get them running. And James Lowes, of course, he is always up for a battle against Leeds, being a former star at Headingley.
Well, you could see from the high shot on the replay that he hadn't gone back to 10 metres. This is the reason why Harris has this chance.
The big crowd at Odsal doing their best to put Harris off his stroke. That's failed. Harris has succeeded. It's Bradford 6 and Leeds 2 here at Odsal Stadium. So Bradford will restart as they do in Super League. This time the scoring team in the past has kicked off. Now the non-scoring team restart the match.
Time off.
And the referee has just stopped the clock. The kicking tee is brought on to the field. And that will allow this match to restart.
And you can see how high that tee is elevated up so they can get the boot well and truly underneath it, though it's a long kick on this occasion.
And the loose forward Glanville trying to run it out, but Bradford so quickly up, and he's halted 8 metres from his own line.
Now then, subconsciously, will Bradford get the Gremlins going inside their brain boxes yet again? Will they be thinking, is this a repeat?
Farrell. Great strength from Farrell. Peacock and McDermott in there. Here's Jamie Matthew just on. What a record this fellow has got. It's his 60th appearance here, and no less than the 42nd time he has appeared as a substitute for the Leeds Rhinos. Sheridan, meanwhile, turns Bradford round with a kick to the sidelines.
I know where he kicked it from. Can't fault you. No problem down you about a yard out, mate.
Sheridan in a rich vein of form this year. Graham Murray, his coach, believing that his performances in the early part of this season pushing him into contention for Great Britain Test honours.
I am not bothered. If he's not bleeding, it'll be a full substitution.
And the referee telling the Bradford trainers that he doesn't believe that Brian McDermott is bleeding, so it's a full substitution, not a blood bin.
Doesn't look too impressed, does he, Matthew Elliott? Pretty difficult to sort of punch yourself on the nose just to make a little bit trickle down. That's been done before.
Well, he's replaced by Jeremy Doniger.
Got to work with him binding. Got to work with him now. Get it.
This is Doniger's 70th appearance.
Get the ball, get the ball.
What a match to come into. 22.5 minutes gone. Only 4 points in it, and the Bradford crowd screaming for offside against Leeds, but Steve Presley is unimpressed.
Well, they were pretty slow in the opening 20 minutes, Leeds, to get the defence sorted out, but they are moving forward now. Not that the Bradford fans here are happy with it. Well, Bradford want to get on with the game and stop complaining to this referee.
Chip over the top was from McNamara. It turns at Marcus St. Hilaire round. He's taking the gamble. He's going to have to run it out. And he's trapped in goal. Well, St. Hilaire waited for the ball to run dead, and it just wouldn't go. Bradford so quick, Steve-O.
He should have taken it up the first bounce. Virtually impossible to get through there. Great kick and chase. Not happy with himself, and rightly so. He realises that he should have had that ball on the first opportunity, whilst it was bouncing within the field of play.
Drop out from underneath his own sticks. First bounce halfway, picked up by Spruce, handed on to Jowett. Good chase out though by the Leeds defence on this occasion. McNamara dummy half, flicks it then into the arms of Forshaw. Forshaw is wrestled to the ground by Ryan Sheridan. Lowe's, here's Donegan.
See Bradford using that very short pass on the advantage line.
Out wide it goes from Robbie to Henry. Henry Paul has cut them up. Henry Paul, brilliant sidestep, sensational try. That's the Henry-Robbie 1-2. The Paul brothers combine and open up the Leeds defence. And Henry Paul with a fabulous try for the Bradford Bulls. Man of the match in the last home game against Warrington here. And Henry Paul showing a touch of true class for Bradford.
Super stuff. The linking qualities. Ball out wide to his brother. He just accelerated away, stepped back on the inside. There was nothing the fullback could do about that. This is only one of the few occasions in this first half that the two brothers have combined with the link out wide. But it looked so easy, didn't it? He's got great balance, great poise as this boy. Robbie first. Give it to our Henry. Look at him go. Super stuff there. The crowd have gone bananas here. He makes it look so easy, doesn't he? And to beat a man like Mark Glanville is not easy. Godden went back on the inside. He stepped just at the right moment. St. Hilaire was off balance.
So Steve McNamara trying to improve Henry Paul's first try in Super League for 1999. This is a difficult kick for McNamara, way out west. Drifting it towards the post, just shaved the wrong side of the upright. 10 points to 2 though, the Bulls ahead against the Rhinos here.
Long ball out wide, that was what's needed. Look how he just skips in and out. Glanville, very rare, he fails to push out quick enough. He's a great defender, but on that occasion, that man swept by him with considerable ease.
Great signing for the Bradford Bulls. Wigan allowed him to go, replaced him with Greg Florimo, and Bradford swooped for his signature. And talking of Greg Florimo, as Leeds make a change and bring on Lee Jackson, talking of Greg Florimo, we will see him in action midday Good Friday, Wigan against St Helens. Quite an Easter programme coming up for you of the Super League here on Sky Sports. Bradford Leeds tonight, Wigan Saints Good Friday. Bank Holiday Monday, we're up on Humberside for Hull against Sheffield at 12:30, Bank Holiday Monday. And then the following night it's Halifax Salford at the New Shea, Tuesday 7:30 Sky Sports 1. What a menu we have got for you over the next few days. This match setting the tone. Lovely dink into the corner by McNamara, but just too long. And a shrill blast on the referee's whistle would bring it back to a tap on the 20-metre line for the Leeds Rhinos.
The option was good. McNamara took the blind side, but just a little bit too strong in the end. Well, it really has been another blitz from the Bradford Bulls tonight. And the introduction, perhaps, of Lee Jackson will certainly steady things down out there for the Leeds side. They look a little bit confused yet again, but Jackson is the man that can lead by example.
Amazing though, the last two play the balls. Jackson's been stood there. First St. Hilaire darted in to take it, then Paul Sterling. That's Jackson. This is Sterling now, wrapped up by Forshaw. Oh, and Paul McNamara has got a bad cut on the head, and now Leeds have another penalty. And McNamara is flat out.
Oh, dear me. He doesn't look well, doesn't the lad?
I've stopped him.
And there's another Bradford player down as well, receiving treatment. McNamara, though, is by far the most serious. This is the penalty that Leeds have got for not getting off the grounded player. Paul Sterling.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, no problem. What's the incident here?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem at all, mate.
Well, nothing untoward on that replay.
Oh dear, but McNamara in a right state.
Well, I would. Was it a clash of heads?
David Boyle replaces number 13, Steve McNamara.
Well, that was Lowe's going backwards. Well, either way, McNamara is in the wards.
Is he ever?
And
Doniger is also flat out at the moment as well.
by looking at that gash on the head, I would suspect that it could have been a stray boot.
Or was it Doniger, because he has also got a bandage on the head as well.
Is this it then? There they go. Oh yes, boom.
Oh dear.
That hurts.
Jeremy Doniger replaces number 10.
This really does bring pain.
Oh,
That
makes your toes curl, that, Steve-O.
certainly does, and not surprisingly, there's more claret on show. Getting back to that point in regards that Lee Jackson come on, of course it's a Leeds ploy that when they're deep within their own quarter that both the fullback or the two wingmen will take the ball from dummy half. Quickest men get away as quick as they can.
Justin Harris grounded 20 metres out. This is Newton now, and he flicks the ball back. Harris to take over once more. Long ball to Golden, immediately enveloped by Danny Peacock. The defence is a lot stronger tonight from the Bradford Bulls so far.
Did well there, Peacock. Read the plot very well.
Matthew with a good break. Tackled by Harmon. There's Jackson dummy half. This is Sheridan. Out it goes to Harris. Harris brings Godden back on the inside. Matthew Elliott passing yet more instructions down via the walkie-talkie to pitch side. And his number 2, Brian Noble. That was a good ball to Newton. And that's a great tackle by Spruce on his own line.
Was it ever? Well, it looked as though Newton was looking for perhaps the referee to blow the whistle.
Sheridan will score. No, I don't think he has. The referee wants the video ref to take a look at it as well. Did he make it to the line?
If he got the ball down, or was it short?
They believe he has. Has Sheridan done it again for Leeds?
I'm not so sure he's got it down. Oh yes, it's on the line. That'll be a try. And yet again, the replay will show that this is a fair try. Well, Sheridan has got Leeds back into another match. Completely against the run of play. The Bradford Bulls have had full control. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in the video refs either.
And no doubt in Ryan Sheridan's mind, because he was up off the floor and was immediately celebrating the 4-pointer.
Good work. Looked as though he was going to go for the kick. That's what they thought. They held off, and it was enough to just get the gap. That little hesitation. And he's quick. Just steps away. Nothing that Henry Paul could do about it. He hesitated, expecting the kick. Sheridan goes in for another vital 4 points for the Rhinos.
Yes, he's put Leeds back in the hunt here, and this kick will reduce the deficit if Harris is successful with it. It's 10-6 just now, 10-8 if this sails over. He's missed it. Well, Justin Harris, normally from that range, is dead-eye Dick. Ronnie the Rhino cannot believe it.
Don't think Harris can, but this is the position there. See how they just held off. Really, Henry Paul should have pounced. Can't hesitate, especially with Sheridan in such fine form. Will-o'-the-wisp, bang.
in great form, tries in 5 of Leeds' 7 matches in 1999 and in 3 straight games now. Newton collects the kick-off behind his own try line, and the Bradford defence has swarmed around him. He made just 10 metres progress. This is Marvin Golden. Now Leroy Rivette.
Well, that's got to be a penalty. Oh, he's saying play on. Well, that's fair enough. He feels that Leeds at no disadvantage there.
Matthew. Good defence again from Bradford.
Well, they probably didn't realise it was there, Anderson.
He's in the 40, he's in the 40.
Big kick downfield from Harris, but it bounces for Stuart Spruce. Good chase on this occasion from the Rhinos, Sterling and Godden.
Spruce trying to kid the official there, trying to milk the penalty. There you see yet again Leeds turning the ball carrier on his back.
Bradford supporters screaming for offside against Leeds. Referee Steve Presley is not blowing the whistle. And here now is Peacock.
Great tackle there by Leroy Rivette.
That's Neil Harmon.
There's some big
That's
hits
the last,
there.
5th and last for Bradford. Surely the boot from Robbie Paul. He's in the 40. Is this going to be a 40-20? The Bradford crowd willing it. Oh, and Sterling, I don't think he read it properly.
That's got to be a 40-20. Robbie made sure that he went back and had his foot on the line on the 40.
And if it is on the line, it's counted as a 40-20.
No doubt. He actually went back a metre, did Robbie Paul, and he was screaming at the referee and was on the 40, on the 40. Well, there's little doubt this will add more pressure to Leeds. Great thinking there.
And Paul Sterling just allowed that ball to trickle over the sideline, inside his own 20.
I can't believe he just watched it roll away.
Well, this should be head and feed to the Bradford Bulls at the scrum. And so it is. It was a slide rule decision for the referee. Very difficult at ground level to make a call like that. And so right by Steve Presley to hand it on to the video referee for confirmation. Bradford certainly won't be complaining, neither will Robbie Paul. Paul, lovely ball back on the inside to his brother Henry again. What a double act this is, but what defence again from Leeds. James Lowe is at dummy half, trying to give it width. Paul escapes the clutches of Golden. This is to Zisti. Zisti!
It's a forward pass. What on earth was McNamara thinking of? They were queuing up to score out wide. Why didn't he pass to the 2 players there at the side of him? He tried the long one.
Whoa.
Paul it was, sorry, that passed. Well, Henry Paul has blown it there.
Well, there are some big calls in matches between these two for forward passes.
Well, the Leeds defence, they'd gone out towards to cut Henry Paul down, and once he'd beaten them, the ball came to him. There was 2 men out wide. It was 3-on-1, and they'd blown it. Oh, that could be an expensive miss.
This is Harris, that's a lovely ball. Great run too, over the top, the ball goes to Rivette. And Rivette was almost rolled into touch, but he managed to stay in the field of play. Jackson to Sheridan, Sheridan then on to Harris, and Harris will kick towards that corner. That ball will run dead. Well, you saw earlier 2 Bradford Bulls players leaving the field with blood streaming from their heads. Let's get the news of them from Bill Arthur.
Both those injured players under the stand at the moment in the treatment room, and neither will be coming back for the second half of this game, because both Steve McNamara and Jeremy Doniger have got nasty cuts to the head. McNamara's, there was no doubt about that, blood streaming from a gash on his forehead, but Jeremy Doniger has also picked up a nasty gash, and they're both undergoing treatment at the moment.
Well, they not only have to think about this game as Bradford get the penalty, and oh, that's silly by Peacock, pushing Golden in the back. There's obviously a touch of spite in this match, maybe, but the referee had blown the whistle. Peacock had the penalty. It was unnecessary.
Not only that, Bradford were once again controlling the football. Leeds obviously trying to niggle them.
Listen to what I've got to say, please.
Because Leeds have been having a lot of trouble out wide.
You've got the penalty, no problem. If you want to start patching about and showing how big and tough you are, I will take it into my hands to penalise you because foul play overrules it. Okay. Captains, listen. Robbie. I don't want people come firing in. We've had 30 minutes, no problem. Take it on board.
Referee has ticked off both sides, and Danny Peacock is lucky to get the penalty because, as the referee says, foul play would overrule his decision. So Bradford with the opportunity to put more pressure on this Leeds line. I was going to make the point, Steve-O, that these players not only have tonight and the second half to worry about, those two being stitched up in the dressing room, they've got a small matter of matches on Easter Monday as well.
Not an easy ride for them. Can Leeds hang on to this?
And Bradford only have to travel to St Helens. Leeds face London. This is Lowe's.
Lowe's was looking for a runner back on the inside. Nobody was coming to help him.
There's Henry Paul. Flicks it out the back door. It was wasted because Godden was there and there was no black and white shirt anywhere near him.
Well, it's a nightmare for the coach, Matthew Elliott. They've taken a commanding lead and they've seen Leeds get back into the match. That man Sheridan yet again, so often a thorn in the Bradford side. He won't be too impressed.
He's got 4 minutes to get through before he can get at his charges, and the same for Graham Murray.
Well, it was a good pass. He just took his eyes off the football at the vital moment. Mark Glanville.
It was.
He's not impressed. He doesn't need telling. First of the night.
That characteristic black tape around the ears. And of course, Mark Glanville had to pack down in the scrum there as well. This is Mike Forshaw now for Bradford. Lowe's. And that's Boyle. So close. Poor pass. Momentum lost for a moment. Can they pick it up again? Neil Harmon gets to his feet. Lowe's. Good ball. Jowett on the charge. Great tackle from Lee Jackson. Lowe's trying to pinch one again. Oh, referee penalises Bradford for obstruction.
Lowe's not happy with it. So there was a shepherd through there.
Danny Peacock.
Yeah, but he never touched anybody. He went straight through the line of defence. You can only use him as a shepherd if he stops one of the Leeds defenders. Never touched anybody. I mean, no wonder they looked a bit confused.
Here's Morley on the charge.
Well, Leeds will be happy with that. They really have been put on the rack. And now they'll be quite happy to just play out the six. Good kick and chase into the corner. They'll be wanting half-time.
Jackson was the dummy half. Sheridan just popped it up for Matthew. Great noise at Odsal. Great way to start the Easter holiday. Trip down to Odsal for this Super League battle between these two great sides. Watching hits like that from Peacock on Golden, that's what they pay the money for.
It's been a great battle, hasn't it? Golden and Peacock have been at each other all night.
Spruce collects. Sheridan's kick underneath his own sticks. Strength from the full-back, but a great tackle yet again from Mark Glanville. How important is Glanville to this Leeds side? I know Harris takes the headlines, but dear me, Glanville does some work.
He's a tackling machine. Bradford fans not happy about the 10 metres from the Leeds defence.
And Mark Glanville, look at the work he gets through, and they'll miss him when he retires at the end of this year. Aims to go out though in a blaze of glory at Old Trafford on the 9th of October. Oh, that's not the best pass from Forshaw. Good job that Zisti was stood on his wing. He was able to go back and collect it, but Bradford lost meters there. 4 tackles gone, only 15 made this set of 6 so far.
Well, that approach work is absolutely fantastic, but I'm afraid that was stupid from Farrell. It wasn't too impressive from James Lowe's either. Could have just boiled the little pot over the top.
Well, the referee has spoken to both captains about this.
Pass the message on.
And he's talked to him again.
I ain't bothered.
He certainly went down with the elbow onto the back of the neck. And that's, he wasn't tackled.
Anyway there, Robbie.
There's bound to be a little bit of afters in this match, Steve-O, isn't there? There must be.
Pete.
Yeah, but not with your elbows.
On the cross.
It's like giving him a knife and fork and then you eat your food with your fingers.
When I've seen you normally do.
Play within the rules.
Here's Anderson. Running strong.
Adds that little bit of extra, doesn't he? Such a big man to put down.
Forshaw started the fun tonight with the first try. Lowe's now. It's opened up for him. Great tackle, though, by Matthew.
But nobody in support. That's the second occasion he's been left on his own.
Robbie Paul teeing with them, toying with them. Lovely ball. Great scrambling defence again. Right on the stroke.
It's got to be a penalty.
Penalty it is.
And the sin bin. That is a professional foul. He can't do it because the referee's going to his pocket. Little yellow one here.
And Glanville it is. They gave him a big rap just a few minutes ago, and Glanville trying to stop the Bradford momentum. And he is placed in the sin bin by the referee right on the stroke of half-time, by the way.
Second attempt there at Stuart Spruce. He's perhaps thinking that Bradford will go for the 2 points, and they have. They know that it's full-time. Surely after this last kick.
Full time in the first half.
Half-time, I mean, should I say.
We don't want people to miss the second half of this, because it's been rip-roaring stuff. McNamara off, of course, so the goal-kicking responsibilities going now to Henry Paul. Matthew Elliott has come down to the speedway track. He's waiting for his charges. And he's watching here as Henry Paul lines up this penalty. And I think Henry Paul knows this could be a vital 2 points. Gets the two, right on the stroke of half-time, increases the Bradford lead. Bulls are to run out winners of this match. They really have to score early in this second half. If Leeds are allowed just a chink of light, they'll shoot through and they'll be there. Henry Paul restarts. No McNamara, of course, off with a dreadful gash to the head, as indeed is Jeremy Doniger. And it's Leeds who have the football for the first set of 6 in this second half. And that is Leroy Rivette.
Well, as I mentioned at half-time, Leeds will play very composed football, especially with the fact that they've got the loose forward Mark Glanville in the sin bin. Bradford, of course, they'll want to keep this ball alive, zip it out wide, make advantage of that one man.
Ladies and gentlemen, could David Anfield
both sides in 1999 have won 5 from 6, but the Bradford Bulls to date are 100% in Super League, and the Wigan Warriors have beaten Leeds last time out. Yestin Harris went for the 40-20 kick then, but Baikona flicked it back with the outside of his boot, and Spruce has picked it up, and he's bounced off one that Rivette sticks to him like glue. Opening minute of the second half, penalty to Bradford.
Get away! Get away!
Well, it means business this second half to Steve Presley. Rivette hanging on to him. Spruce not being able to play the ball quickly. We saw in the first half, both sides eager to turn the ball carrier onto his back, gives the defence time to get back.
Bradford ahead then by 6 points. Remember, in 1998 they lost 4 times at home. And the key to success in this fantastic competition is winning your home matches. And a drive from Anderson! Great drive from Anderson! Great tackle also from Marcus St. Hilaire. Robbie Paul at the dummy half, into the arms of his brother Henry. They're giving it with Forshaw. Forshaw again. Good tackle from Lee Jackson. James Lowe's is there. Back it goes to Henry Paul. Then back to Naylor. Scott Naylor driving for the post. And he's hauled down just short of the line. Jackson lying on. Naylor trying to get to his feet. Lowe's gives it to the runner, the big runner. That was McDermott. He flicks it back. Play on. The ball went backwards, says the referee. Lowe's, though, is trapped. That's the last tackle. Will they go for the 1 point? No, they're running it with Robbie Paul. He'll stab it to the in-goal, looking for that sloped area. And that's well diffused back there by Paul Sterling. Dropped on the loose ball in his own in-goal area.
Super little dink through there, but Sterling equal to the task. But what a great burst there by Paul Anderson. He did the right thing, didn't panic, tried to offload the ball in difficult circumstances. He made 50 metres downfield, back on the inside, get out of the way, Masella. And this is where he was very composed.
Remember, of course, Anderson and the other Bradford players trying to expose early here the 12 men of Leeds, with Mark Glanville in the sin bin right on the stroke of half-time for the professional foul. So this is an important period of the match for the Leeds Rhinos. Can Bradford make Glanville pay for the indiscretion on the half-time bell? Now then, Robbie Paul, up the middle he goes. But Jackson is first man to him. Lowe's at dummy half. Jowett now for the Bulls. Escaped the clutches of one. Almost through Matthew, but Matthew stuck to him like a limpet. Lowe's. Here's Harmon. Flicks it back, out the door. Jowett again.
A lot of the Leeds players going far too high. They're bouncing off some of these tackles.
This is Robbie Paul and Henry spinning. Lowe's is there as reinforcements. This now is Forshaw. Forshaw keeps it alive to Lowe's. This is Naylor. It's opened up for Naylor. Back it goes to Peacock. Oh, great defence from Leeds. Flicked up though by Peacock to Lowe's, and somehow Leeds keep them out. Great defensive effort here. Can they hold out once more? Robbie Paul! Robbie Paul gets the try. The dam broke, and Robbie Paul was through for the try. His first in Super League this year. A try against Leeds last July at Headingley in the win. Another try here tonight.
Quick play the ball, they kept the ball alive. That's the tactics. Naylor back on the inside. Peacock went there. There was always scrambling the Leeds defence. Lowe's as ever supporting. They were stretched all over the place. Look at them, 6 in such a small area. Golden went for the intercept, left an enormous gap. There he goes, Golden. And there goes Robbie. Well, they've made Leeds pay for having one man in the sin bin. Through the dummy. Nothing Rivette could do.
Henry, I'll bring it back if I were you. Thank you.
Robbie Paul, one of the stars of the game, no doubt about that. Now back with the captaincy, with Graham Bradley retired. Robbie Paul, of course, led the Bulls prior to Bradley, and Matthew Elliott will have demanded a try early from his team, and they've come up with the goods for him. Now this is a big kick for Henry Paul. Giving it chances, he's given it more than chances, giving it 2 points. 18 points to 6, the Bradford Bulls with a 12 lead. The flags are flying at Odsal.
If you go for the intercept, you're always going to have trouble out wide. And that's what the centre, Marvin Golden, did. Robbie Paul gets in. Happy crowd here. Clapping, chanting. But he knows there's still plenty of work to do in the second half. He's laying the law down.
Certainly is. Leading by example and leading from the front this year. Waving his arms around as Yestin Harris prepares this kick-off, low this time, skimming it along the ground, bounces off the chest, and Spruce is able to pick it up and launch another Bradford attack, gets to the 20 before he's hauled down. Bradford looking to score more points early here. Forshaw.
Looking for the second phase of attack there, Forshaw.
Here's Anderson again, punishing runs up the middle from this big fella.
They love him here, don't they?
Well, he missed all of last year injured. They thought his career was threatened, but he's come back with a bang in 99. Naylor plays the ball to Henry Paul. He finds Warren Jowett, another man back from the sick bed last year. They suffered more than most of the Bradford Bulls in 1998 with injuries. And Jowett and Anderson amongst their most crucial. Robbie Paul forward. That was forward.
Well, his option there was to kick, and then he decided. But the time it took to change his mind, all the players had run in front. Opportunity on, perhaps the kick would have been the better choice.
Well, let's go downstairs to join Bill Arthur, who's got one of the Leeds injured alongside him, Darryl Powell.
Daryl Powell watching from the sidelines, and this is a crucial spell for the Rhinos, and it looked as though down to 12 men you were going to hold out, and then Robbie sneaked through.
Yeah, we started both halves pretty poorly, and certainly Bradford took advantage in the first half, and unfortunately for us, they've taken advantage in the second half. But we've got to get our composure back and get Mark Glanville back on the field, and hopefully get back into the game as quick as we can.
Because as you've proved recently, the game is not beyond you, even with this difference.
No, we're pretty self-assured. We know that if we get our game plan right and everybody's playing pretty well, we can get back into the game, whatever the score. So it's not beyond us yet, but we've got to be the next team to score for sure.
Thanks, Daryl. Just briefly, the news from the Bradford dressing room is that Jeremy Doniger is back out and sitting on the bench and knows what day of the week it is, thankfully. He's only had 3 stitches as well, miraculously. Steve McNamara, though, still being stitched. And yet he too is conscious, he's aware, and thankfully he's, despite all that blood, is not too groggy.
Well, that really was a bad mistake by the fullback Stuart Spruce. He really should have overcalled that for Vicona. Vicona was running to it, and the fullback should never have let the winger go for it.
So big opportunity here now for the Leeds Rhinos. Sheridan to Harris, and Harris trying to step off the left boot, but Spruce did well. Bradford, their 10th handling error. Will it be a costly one? Will it prove to be 4 points for the Rhinos? This is Farrell. 2 tackles gone. Jackson, master at dummy half. Sheridan, and again taking over. Lovely run from Sheridan. Great support there. Wonderful support from Brad Godden. And super defence from Bradford. That ball came out. Is this a try for Leeds? No, they haul Matthew back. Jamie Matthew, not known for his try-scoring prowess. So close then. This is Harris, long raking pass. This is Farrell. Farrell taking them on at the middle. Might have done better going out wide. Flicks the ball back.
Knock on.
Last tackle.
There was a knock on there. It also hit a Bradford player.
St. Hilaire has it. Rivette flicks it back. Not the best pass. Dab through. Bradford shut the door. Jowett.
Well, 2 incidents there missed by the official, but it came to nothing. This
Penalty
is
now for Bradford.
That's where it hit the Bradford foot, and that's where the knock-on was.
Listen, please. Listen to what I've got to say. 3 times you picked up the session, you interfered at the play the ball in the first half. I put Mark Glanville in the bin. The second half, straight after half time, you've interfered twice at the play the ball. If you interfere, play the ball again, the next one's going in the bin, and it's safe for both sides.
I'm sure you heard the referee while you were watching that, ticking Iestyn Harris off. The next Leeds player who interferes at the play the ball will be in the sin bin alongside Mark Glanville,
Who's just coming onto the field.
Who is just returning, yes. And so too is Barry McDermott. He has come back. So Leeds back to strength, but they've conceded a try and a goal while Glanville has been off. This is Harmon. Lows at dummy half. Robbie Paul pops it up to Anderson. By far the most notable of the forwards on show tonight so far. Lows to Henry Paul. Wide it goes to Peacock. Oh, they're trying to force the pass, and Sisti couldn't take it in.
He should have. It wasn't all that difficult. It was a beautiful piece of play by Peacock as he was going to ground. When you create an opening like that, you have to take them, and he knows it does Sisti.
Well, Nick Sisti, well known to the Hunter Mariners, and of course, by that, also to Graham Murray, who was boss of the Hunter Mariners in '97. And I noticed the two of them having a good chin whack before the match. Double change now by Graham Murray. Shrill blast on Steve Presley's whistle again. Penalty against Bradford. Messing around at the play of the ball.
Well, you can see there that Forshaw wasn't going to let him go.
Penalty count is all square, 6-all. Chances here for Leeds though, set of 6 here, and Masella driving the ball in again to within 15 metres of the Bradford Bulls post. Another penalty, and will someone be on the way?
He's got to. He's warned them.
Well, he's warned Harris and Leeds. He's now warning Robbie Paul.
2 sets here. Interfere, hand on ball. The next man goes in the bin. The next man goes in the bin.
David Boyle the culprit this time. Next one, yellow card.
Well, he's given them a little bit of help there, I feel. The official, Steve Presley. I thought I overheard the official say that the next one was before the next one.
Well, he did say to Iestyn Harris, didn't he, that the same goes for both sides when he was ticking off Harris, but now Robbie Paul is in no doubt as the Bradford captain anymore, and someone wearing white will be in the bin. We'll see if he's as good as his word.
They can change their mind somewhat. They shouldn't.
Penalty to Leeds. Iestyn Harris bang in front. 18-6, this for 18-8. Couldn't be more central. Couldn't be more easy for Iestyn Harris. 18 points to 8 here at Odsal.
Just won't lie down, will they? The Rhinos, they've shown some great character this season.
I was making the point to you at half-time though, Steve-o, isn't that the hallmark of an excellent side?
Certainly is, to be still in this match when they know, the Leeds players know that they're being outplayed. The possession that Bradford have had, really, they should have had this game well and truly sewn up. And yes, you have to admire the tenacity of this Leeds outfit. They just keep going and going and going.
And to be fair, even in that defeat against Wigan with so many men out, there were signs there that this is a different Leeds of the vintage we've seen of the recent past.
Well, a lot of cynics perhaps thought that Leeds would have the semi-final on their minds, but it was a tremendous game, one of the best I've seen for years.
This isn't so bad either. Marcella under great pressure from Naylor. Morley was the dummy half. That's Harris. That's St. Hilaire. Disappears under that challenge. Tap on the backside from Lee Jackson. This is the last. And Leeds are running it with Godden. Now he puts boot to ball. Who wants it? No advantage. It's the turnover. The ball played the man is the way Steve Presley read it.
And it did. Naylor didn't know that that ball was coming.
And surely Mark Glanville then came from an offside position to make the first challenge.
It appeared that way. But this is becoming fast and furious yet again. Bradford looking to finish this game off. And they could probably do that if they could get a try within the next 10 minutes.
Robbie Paul, Danny Peacock, great tackle from Marvin Golden.
Come on.
Bradford rolling forward again, David Boyle now, Sinfield there, and Jackson with the tackle. Last one for the Bradford Bulls. Will they go to the air? It's with Paul. They do. It's off the outside of the boot. Vicona will collect. Flicks it back. It's kept alive somehow. Chip over the top from Henry Paul. Claving is impeded by Paul Sterling. Referee unimpressed.
Well, they went for the Oscar there, didn't Paul?
For the Bradford Bulls, number 7.
Bit of a dramatic situation. Well,
I'm not sure. Morley flicked a hand out into his face.
That was a high one from Henry Paul. That was swinging. I'm not so sure that the incident earlier with Adrian Morley, it was a flat hand.
But he was chasing the kick through, his own kick through. This is a definite high tackle.
Without a doubt. Eyes on the target. The padded arm, made contact. Well, yet again,
frustration, I think, there from Henry Paul.
I think so. He thought that he perhaps should have been receiving a penalty himself. Well, this is a difficult period of the game now for Bradford. There's a huge crowd behind them, and they cannot finish this Leeds side off.
No, they know the crowd are baying for them to put Leeds to sleep, but they won't lie down.
That's back to 6. There'll be a knock-on. Lowe's definitely touched that football.
He disputes it, as he disputes just about every call that goes against him.
There's the offload, that's where he touched it, and that's a knock-on. No doubt about it. That's the touch from Lowe's, that's the knock-on. That's why we got the scrub.
And that's why Leeds are in possession with Sinfield, and he finds Golden, and he's immediately hit by Peacock and by Robbie Paul. This is tenacious. There's no place for faint hearts.
They've really had a battle royal, haven't they? Marvin Golden and Danny Peacock, they must be black and blue.
Harris back on the inside to the big man McDermott. He offloads it. And here's St. Hilaire again. Marcus St. Hilaire cut down by a flying tackle from Lowe's. Jackson, they're going out wide. This is Rivette, and Rivette just falls short about 1.5 meters. Not the best play of the ball. Peacock's after it, and Peacock's got it. The ball rolled back about 8 metres then, and Peacock shot through.
Well, there's little that Lee Jackson, the hooker, could have done with that. The ball was played so strongly, it went right the way back, and then Golden lost it. Peacock picked it up. Big let off there. Bradford were looking very stretched indeed. McNamara returns.
Well, how brave is that? We saw the blood pumping from the head, but he's back on the field with a head guard. What on earth's he doing out there? Let's hear from Bill.
Brave Steve McNamara, 9 stitches and a lot of strapping underneath that scrum guard. And thankfully, despite all that blood, McNamara is as sharp as a pin and he's as keen to get back into the action. Mind you, that shirt is going to prove hard work for the Bradford laundry department.
Certainly is. Bradford with another set of 6 here. Vicona retains possession for them. That's the first, right on halfway. Boyle dummy half. First touch McNamara, second spell on. Must have a heck of a headache.
Well, Leeds tackling will make sure that he has one.
Robbie Paul to Stuart Spruce. And Spruce holds on under pressure from Jackson and Sinfield. Lowe's, Henry Paul, Naylor, big raw-bone centre brought from Salford during the winter. Another raw-bone centre behind him was Peacock at dummy half. This is Forshaw. Jackson and Farrell in with the tackles.
Will they do the link? They've gone the blind side with Lowe's. Oh, well spotted there.
Just tried to dink it over the man. Harris read the script.
Did he ever? Well, they were screaming out wide there. The two Paul brothers was wanting the ball, but Lowe's took the option on the blind side.
Got the ball, got the ball! Go.
Paul Sterling scampering away. Coming up to the hour mark of this pulsating contest. Second meeting in 5 days between these two, and they're going at it hammer and tongs, hell for leather. It's a 40-20 if it would have bounced towards the touchline. It doesn't, but Zisti's going to have to run this out of danger. Great strength, and he's bounced off one, but that's a wonderful tackle again from Golden. Boy, I've been impressed with him in defence tonight. Got some great tackles in. Deacon then hands it on.
Come on.
Into the final 20 now, and this is where the tiredness will set. Fitness is definitely going to be the key now. And the way that Bradford have kept this ball alive, it's a wonder that Leeds are still there. But they're still in this game. Only 10 points separate them.
14 clean breaks from Bradford. This might be another from Zisti. Oh, another great tackle. It's Golden again. And he's rolled them into touch. What a match Marvin Golden's having.
Not surprising is that Golden came across on the cover, did everything right. Not only that, put him over the whitewash. Well, what a game he's had in defence. Been a huge battle between that man and Danny Peacock.
Henry, must bind for me. Henry, that's good.
Well, Marvin Golden must be a contender for your man of the match, but I wonder who you will vote for. 0660 1010 13, and don't forget, 2 grand final tickets up for grabs tonight, and the place in the draw for the VIP box at Old Trafford on October the 9th for the grand final. And we said in Super League 3 that the players in the competition had stepped up a gear, and in Super League 4, from what we've seen early this season, boy oh boy are we in for a summer. This is Mark Glanville. 2 sides here that would grace Old Trafford. Wigan, Saints, Halifax and the rest will have something to say about that, though. You can rest assured. Harris!
They've really kept him quiet. Oh, that wasn't the best pass from Harris.
And he's surrendered possession. Zisti has got it back for the Bradford Bulls. Here's Peacock again.
Oh, that was a swinging arm there, I feel, from Golden. Trying to get the ball.
Harmon to drive it in. Farrell and Golden again with the tackle. Well, if this is good, I'm sure Wigan and Saints, who will be watching this at home tonight, they will produce another thriller. High noon at Central Park, Good Friday, and we'll be there, Sky Sports 1. I know that you will.
Well spotted there by Morley. Knew the ball was going to come back on the switch.
Good kick down the sideline, and St. Hilaire will have to run this ball back. And he does with gusto. Gets away from Deacon. There's some smashing performances on show out there. Your man of the match choice tonight will be so difficult.
And Leeds come yet again. Well, there's been some heroic work by the Leeds three-quarters tonight in defence especially. But they've done so much work in carting that ball up.
That's Matthew.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Jackson from dummy half picks it up one-handed. Nearly loses his shorts, doesn't lose possession.
10 minutes before the end of the game.
He's good, went backwards, play on, it's still on the last. Harris just drifts it over the top, it's a difficult one, and Zisti. He had everyone's heart in their mouths here with Bradford colours on. Now Vicona, can they counter-attack?
Pretty play there by the Bradford Bulls.
Henry Paul with the knee, heavily strapped.
Looks to be in
Robbie
a lot of
Paul,
trouble.
dummy half. Vicona.
Looks in a lot of trouble there when he took the ball. And I think we may see Paul being taken from the field of play. He's not looking good at all.
Forshaw running strongly. Matthew and Farrell with the tackle. A break. Great pass to Vicona. And again the Leeds defence comes from nowhere. Deacon with the break. It was terrific stuff.
Was it
There he
ever
is
from
again.
Deacon?
Henry Paul. On it goes to the brave McNamara. They've got men on the overlap out wide. This is Peacock going for glory on his own. Flicks it back. In touch Boyle, I think.
Yeah, never got anywhere near to getting that ball down, but he'll go
Touch
to
judge
the...
and referee not
Look at
convinced.
screen.
They'll go to the
We're
screen.
looking to see if he grounded
Definitely
the ball.
no try.
Shut up.
Great
See if he
cover
grounded the ball
defence
before
there.
his foot was
Rivette
in
and
touch
Harris
or
came
touched the
away.
flag.
And there you see it right on the whitewash. That's out. No try.
Great defence from Rivette.
Well, they were stretched. It's a beautiful long ball out wide by McNamara.
I think he knows, as we all do. Leeds get the possession.
Wait! Wait for the whistle. Get back on the line. Back on the line.
Referee happy now.
Time on.
And here is
Here.
Barry McDermott.
Substitution for the Rhinos,
Go,
number
go.
5, Francis Cummings.
And Francis
replaces
Cummings
number
enters
12,
the fray,
Mark Glanville.
and Mark Glanville goes off. Graham Murray was anxious to tell me when he gave me the team that Cummings wasn't dropped,
Yeah, no problem.
just on the bench. 17-man game these days, of course. And here's Jackson, trying to spark something. Now Matthew. Here's Farrell.
Well, Graham Murray has been the master of substitutes over the last 2 seasons. Time and time again, he's produced a super sub off that bench that's turned the game.
Leeds in possession, great stuff. It's St. Hilaire once more. Jackson anxious to get on with it. There he is at dummy half. This is Sinfield, ball back on the inside. And Morley. Anxious times for Graham Murray. Desperate for the 2 points. Harris slides the kick through. Big chase on here. And Peacock to the rescue.
Beautiful piece of football from Euston Harris. He feigned to go on the outside, pulled it back towards the post, and Peacock read it superbly. Now then, where was the full-back? Stuart Spruce. Obviously he'd gone out expecting the kick out wide, but Peacock came to the rescue. What pressure.
Another man, of course, back in this Bradford side after cruciate knee ligament damage last year. Stuart Spruce takes a break, and no wonder this game played at breakneck pace from the start.
Gavin Walker, can you report to the lost
Jackson
children
getting
of
more and more involved in these Leeds attacks.
Good run from the dummy half. More of that, that's what's needed. It's getting a bit scrappy again at the play the ball.
Godden to Barry McDermott. Great barnstorming run from the prop forward. Scragged to the ground by Boyle. Here's Jackson again. Jackson flicks the ball back. Golden. Boyle and Lowe's in to quell the danger.
Well, Jackson
Four
was
tackles
running the
gone.
angle. He was running the angle, pointing for someone to come back on the inside.
Here's Harris. Not the best pass. It bounced in front of Cummins. Rivette picks it up. They lost their way there a little, Leeds. Last tackle. Cummins at dummy half. Back it goes to Harris. He and Jackson involved in everything. Great kick. This is a great kick. Vicona there. Vicona.
Took it from the field of play.
He did.
It'll be a
Jumped
drop
from
out.
the field of play. Was he tackled in the air? I pose the question, no more.
Well, they just collided. They didn't attempt to tackle him. That's the reason why the official has allowed it to go on. But it's good tactics from Leeds, of course, with the fullback Stuart Spruce off the field. They're going to pepper this in-goal area. Peacock was under a lot of pressure, but Vicona took it very well indeed.
And Bradford Bulls are in no hurry to get this game back in motion. Referee Steve Presley imploring them to come on, get going. Drop out to halfway. Farrell will run the ball back.
Leeds getting a lot more possession in these final moments. You have to admire the way that they just claw their way back.
Great screen for a forward pass. None forthcoming. Harris. Great stuff. Eludes 2 or 3, but can't get away from the next two. And McNamara's taken another bang. Gets up bravely back into the defensive line. This is Morley, flicks it back. Harris again. Was going down a blind alley. Gets away from another would-be tackler. Bradford wait the moment and move in for the kill. Jackson again. Matthew driving it towards the post. Last one. Naylor was there. Jackson again at dummy half. Here's Harris. Now it's with Godden. It was straight into Godden's face.
It was on as well.
It was.
There was a huge gap opened up. They thought he was going to be the dummy runner. Look at the gap there. That was try time. There was no one there.
Right on the buzzer.
He could have been taken as well. The Australian centre. It was a very hard pass from the skipper, Harris. But that is a huge let-off.
Deacon at dummy half. Can Bradford finish them off? Zisti. Leeds scrambling in defence, examining Bradford when they attack. What a contest. All we'd hoped of this match and more. Deacon again. Golden has been all over the park tonight. Brave run from Harmon.
Tremendous effort for Leeds to still be in this game.
In the 40s.
And
Bradford
McNamara was looking for a 40-20. St. Hilaire's picked it up.
Bradford really have just taken it to them. They've thrown everything they've got. They've been running the angles, quick play the balls, but somehow Leeds have the ability to come back.
They're like a heavyweight boxer, aren't they? They soak up all the pressure and they come back off the canvas when you think that they're down and out for the count. Back they come. Who's your man of the match? What a choice for you tonight. 0660 10 10 13. Tickets for the grand final on October the 9th at Old Trafford. Penalty now against Bradford. McNamara, and again he's in the bin.
He's got to, unless he's going back on his word. Next one, he goes.
And he's taking 10 minutes, and at 70 minutes and 36 seconds, we shouldn't see any more of Steve McNamara tonight.
12 men
So
for those.
Bradford have to steer out the last 10 with 12.
Well, I don't know who it was that said that it is all over the man, messing around. I don't know who it was that said that, well, I put them to bed, but I forgot to kiss them good night. And that is exactly what now they've got to do.
Here's Harris. Now it's with Farrell. Leeds aren't done. The gap is 10. This is Jackson. Fires the pass to Harris. He is Golden. Almost crowned the perfect night. Golden. He's scrambling for it. He's got it down. He's got the ball down, but was he tackled? Is it a double movement? Was the ball carrying on? Grounded.
Tackled short of the line.
Was he tackled short? Was it a double movement?
Or did he
It's
get
a
over
big
it in
call
one
for the
movement?
video ref, this.
Watch for the arm. It's hit the ground. This will be a penalty. A penalty to Bradford.
Or did he get over it?
He's gone for the chance. Marvin Golden has gone for the big chance. He's taken the risk of perhaps kidding the officials, but you can't kid the video replay. Ball carrying arm hits the ground, therefore the tackle is complete. Surely they can't give this try. He knows they're running out of time.
Well, he certainly planted it over the line, but the crucial moment was when the ball-carrying arm hit the deck with Bradford players hands-on. Here's the decision from the video ref. No try. Golden looking to crown a golden night for him. And Graham Murray knows his men have got just 8.5 minutes to score 10 points.
Well, to be fair, you can't blame Marvin Golden for perhaps taking that huge gamble. They know that time is running out. And you haven't got time to call a board meeting to think whether they'll go to the screen. You maybe thought perhaps the official Steve Presley may have just pointed straight away and said it was a fair try, but he was not going to be kidded.
He's had a fine game, Steve Presley, to be fair tonight.
Has he ever? Oh, that's got to be a penalty. That's silly play.
And somebody here could be in the bin, Anthony Farrell.
Well, that was stupidity from Farrell. Watch this. The big fella wants to get up and play and he just pulls the ball away. Dumb football.
Could easily have been in the sin bin for that, Farrell. That was a professional foul.
And he's been chattering all the way back. Some of the players out there. And the right all go at each other. Composure is what is needed from both sides, for different reasons, of course.
Well, successive defeats in Super League is not the order of the day. Matthew Elliott's team are 100% at the moment. They want to keep it like that. Anderson with a great run. And Matthew, I think it was, launched at him. But Anderson just brushed him off like a fly. Forshaw! Where's the support? There it is. Robbie Paul!
What a big game as Robbie. But if someone had been there earlier, Forshaw could have offloaded it. Lowe's has gone. Great defence. He ran into a brick wall.
Fantastic defence. Have Bradford got the key to unlock them? Oh, Peacock's dropped it. Golden's got it back.
Good work by Brad Godden there. They used the second phase of attack. Godden picked it out. Went slam bang straight towards Peacock. Enough for him to drop the ball. Leeds not out of it yet.
This is Marcella. Jackson pushing the youngster Deacon off the grounded player, and Jackson's through. He toyed with him. Now then, where's the support for Jackson? There it is, Harris. They've got the man out wide, it's Golden. What a performance from Leeds. And Graham Murray's even getting involved, pushing and shoving. Harris at dummy half. Jamie Matthew gets Leeds to within 12 metres.
Outstanding run from Jackson. Again, he steadied the ship. Ooh, that was a delayed one. Looked a bit dodgy in the end.
Godden's all wrapped up. That's fifth tackle now for Leeds. Jackson to Sinfield, slides the kick through. Was there a knock on?
There was
from Forshaw. He's furious.
Doesn't like it. The option of the kick was good.
Never, he says. Let's see.
Sinfield went for it. Yeah, that's a knock on.
There's a knock on.
Doesn't have to be a big one. Well, good work, Sinfield. Remember, it was Sinfield that came off the bench against Widnes that got Leeds back into it. Scored 2 tries. Scintillating effort.
Harris will score under the sticks. From the base of the scrum. A scrum that Mike Forshaw believes should never have been, but plainly was. And Harris, well, what more drama is in store for us here? He scored right behind the sticks and will surely convert this.
Well, he just threw a simple dummy. No one got to him. It really was poor defence. Well, Matthew Elliott will be absolutely fuming over that. It's no good arguing about the fact on the replay it was a knock-on from Forshaw, and Harris just toyed with him, and it all came about from that lovely break by the hooker Lee Jackson. It is not over yet. The referee, Presley, has called for time off. Sinfield put the kick in. That was a knock-on. Remember, the Bulls down to 12 men. He just threw the dummy. Oh, and dearie me, it was missed easy.
Yestin Harris's 5th try in the last 4 matches against the Bradford Bulls. But what a slide rule kick through by young Kevin Sinfield. He's 18 years of age, and he played that kick through with all the cool, the savvy of a veteran.
Well, we mentioned the fact that when he came on, he disintegrated Widnes when it looked as though there could be a huge shock on the cards.
4 minutes to go, 4 points the difference. Leeds have fought and scrambled and scrapped their way back into this match. Here's Paul Sterling.
Still plenty of time.
Sterling was almost through. It was a despairing tackle from Lowe's.
Leeds have to keep this ball alive now. They've got to stretch Bradford. They're looking very tired. Down to 12 men.
Jackson again. Harris stabs it through. Looking for Cummins. Oh, that was almost the biggest blunder from Peacock. As it is, Vicona gets the possession to Bradford. Oh, your heart can't stand much more of this.
Unbelievable there. And full credit to Vicona. And also the coach, because the coach has obviously said you must keep going back and help each other. If there had been no one there, it would have been curtains under the sticks. Leeds would have snatched this in the final seconds.
Here's Vicona again. Great defence from Leeds.
Now then, will Bradford force towards the sticks and go for the one-pointer?
Anderson's the man to do it, but Leeds are quickly up to him. That's
the last.
In stereo. This is Deakin. Now it's with Robbie Paul, who stabs it into the corner. That will be too strong. And Leeds will come at them again with 2.5 minutes left for play. It's not over yet.
Nerves are jangling out there. Time off yet again from Steve Presley, who was at a fine game.
Wait for the whistle. Wait for the whistle.
Lee Jackson says he couldn't hear the referee's whistle. Time goes back on. It's ticking down. Can Leeds snatch the most dramatic of victories here at Odsal?
It's a big gamble. They've got to keep the ball alive.
And they're doing exactly that. Bradford's turn now to scramble in defence. What a game. What an advert for the Super League again. And there's more to come. Wigan Saints tomorrow. High noon, Good Friday. Last 2 minutes. Wigan Saints have got something to match.
They'll be back to 6.
It is. Referee wipes the tackle countdown.
Anderson definitely got a fingertip to that. More pressure to be soaked up by the Bulls. Rhinos are charging through.
Morley is wrestled to the ground by Henry Paul. Jackson again. Such a key figure. So is Godden. Here's McDermott. Back to Jackson. Now Matthew. Here's Harris. This is great stuff.
Well, kept Harris quiet for most of the game.
Look at the tension on those two coaches' faces.
How are they going to last the full season?
How are we?
You don't look as bad as them, surely.
This is Matthew. Matthew went for the gap. Henry Paul and Paul Anderson shut the door in his face. Last one. Godden still stabs it towards Sterling. Sterling!
Oh, dear me today.
One coach holds his head in his hand, the other nearly pulls his hair out.
Godden had 2 attempts, it came through. Sterling was there. Beat them.
Time off, wait for the ball again, time off.
Here it comes. The whites of the eyes.
The drama.
Sure, the wig's still on.
The drama of Super League.
What a game.
40 seconds remain. Bradford ahead by 4. A titanic match.
Up the jumper time now. Runs from dummy half. Don't even bother passing the football. Oh, dearie me. He's had a big match, this fella. He's taken some punishment. He's taken it up all night.
This is Scott Naylor to the halfway line, but Godden is there, the first man in. With less than 20 seconds to go. Bradford looking at the clock. They're a bit anxious. They're in possession though with Peacock. That's the last. It'll surely be a
Put
hoop
it into
to the
touch.
air now.
Put it into touch. That's what they want. Doesn't matter. Wait out in the fall. They'll get the scrum. That'll eat up.
There's the siren, and Bradford have won a match that took some winning. Graham Murray's men have done him proud. Matthew Elliott's boys get some revenge for the defeat in the semi-final, and the most important thing is it's 2 priceless Super League points. I don't know who the crowd are booing. They should be on their feet as one.
The referee, Steve Presley.
Steve Presley is the first man off the field. What a game that these 2 great sides have produced. Only a whisker between them.